welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendra and today I'm going to be doing my May TBR. I have a pretty big stack that I actually want to get to this month. First, I want to go through all of the buddy reads that I have going on. The first book that I want to talk about is the buddy read that I do with Nicole at the Girly Girl Bookworm. We do a buddy read every single month and we have a chat where we discuss the book at the end of the month. The chat for this book is going to be Monday, May 24th at 8 p.m. EST. And the book that we will be buddy reading is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Woolley. And this book sounds absolutely amazing. I am so excited that we picked this one. This is about a girl. She is going to college and she has to suddenly stop going to college to help take care of her frail mother. And while she's at home, she meets this boy and then she witnesses a murder and the FBI get involved, and it has to do with this like lethal drug. And since she has a background in chemistry, she actually goes undercover with the FBI to help find the source of this drug. So this sounds like it's going to be super fascinating. So I'm really excited to be reading this one. So let me know in the comments if you want to join in our group chat this month. Just leave your Instagram handle and I'll add you to the chat on Instagram. The next buddy read that I'll be doing is another one with Nicole at the Girly Girl Bookworm. We're going to be reading The Downstairs Girl by Nancy Lee, and this is a YA historical fiction. And this one is about a girl. She writes for her local newspaper and she ends up getting this mysterious letter, and it takes her on a search to find her parents that abandoned her. So this sounds like it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited that me and Nicole is going to be reading this one together. The next two books I'm going to be buddy reading with Ashley from Smashly Reads on Instagram. The first one is The Age of Light by Whitney Sharer. And this one is a historical fiction, and you're following this woman. She is a Vogue model, and when she gets to Paris, she decides she actually wants to be a photographer instead of actually being a model. So I believe you're just following her story, and it's set in Paris. I love books set in Paris, so I'm really excited that we'll be reading this one together. And the other book that we'll be buddy reading is The Air You Breathe by Frances de Pontis Peebles, and this is another historical fiction, and this one is about a orphaned girl. She works in a sugar plantation in the 1930s in Brazil, and she meets this other girl who is really wealthy. They end up having a really close bond, and they end up bonding over music. So this one just sounds like it's going to be really good. It's set in Brazil, and I haven't read anything set in Brazil, so this one sounds like it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited to be buddy reading this one as well. And then I have a couple arcs that I want to get to this month. The first one is 6 Weeks to Live by Catherine Mackenzie, and this is an adult thriller. This one I actually am starting next. I'll probably be starting this one tonight actually. And this is about a woman. She's diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she ends up finding out that she may have been poisoned. So she's trying to figure out who poisoned her. So this sounds like it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited to be starting this one. The next arc that I want to get to is A Dark and Secret Place by Jen Williams. This one comes out in June. And this one is another adult thriller. This is about a woman. She finds out that her mother committed suicide, and when she goes to her mother's house to go through everything, she finds these letters that she's been writing to from a serial killer that is currently in prison, and she starts to think that maybe her mother's suicide and this serial killer have a link. So she's thinking she may not have committed suicide, that she may have been murdered. So this one sounds like it's going to be very fascinating, and I'm really excited to be starting this one. And the other arc that I want to get to this month is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, and this one also comes out in June, and this is another adult thriller. This is about a man. He is a Greek professor at the local university, and he is a murderer. So we already know he's a murderer, and then he also is very interested in the all-women's secret society called the Maidens, and a couple of the girls start going missing, and he is being accused of their murder. So I'm interested to know if they're linked, and this one sounds like it's going to be amazing. I keep seeing this one all over Instagram, so I'm really excited that I'll be reading this one this month. The next book that I really want to get to is The End of Men by Christina Sweeney Bard, and this one is a dystopian, and this one is set in 2025, and there is a lethal outbreak of a virus that is killing men. So this sounds like it's going to be super fascinating, especially with the whole virus and the pandemic that is going on now. And I'm really excited to read this one. These next couple books that I want to talk about are books that I just have on my TBR that I really want to get to. I may not get to them this month, but I'm hopeful that I will. I know in April I really didn't have the greatest reading month, as in quantity and quality. They were amazing, but hopefully I can be able to read more books in May. So the first book that I really want to get to is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one has been on my TBR for over a year now because her new book has come out, and this one, or is coming out this month. I think it comes out this month, but this is the one that she wrote from last year. This is about a man. He writes literary fiction, and a woman, she writes romance, and I believe they like meet on a vacation, and they're both in like a reader's block, or a writer's block, and they decide to switch, and they write completely different genres that they typically don't write. So, and I believe it's a romance as well. So I'm really excited to read this one because I really want to pick up her new book as well, hopefully next month. The next book that I really want to get to is Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein, and this has also been on my TBR for over a month, or over a year. And this one I really want to get to because it's about the Olympics, and I'm really hopeful that the Olympics will happen this year. But this is about gymnastics. I love gymnastics. It's one of my favorite sports to watch. And yeah, so it's about Olympics and gymnastics, two things that I absolutely love. So I'm really excited to finally read this one. The next book that I really want to get to is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This book sounds like it's going to be super cute. This is about a woman. She just graduated with her PhD in astronomy, and she goes to Las Vegas to celebrate. And one night while she's there, she gets super drunk and she marries another woman that she has no clue who she is. So this sounds like it's going to be so good, and I'm really excited to pick this one up. And then these next books I maybe will get to. I really want to. So I've read the first two books in the series. Gosh, it's been 4, 5, maybe even 6 years ago, and I never finished the third one. And the TV show just came out on Netflix. Me and my husband, we watched the first 3 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes, and it's so good. So I really want to finish the series and reread the first 2 books, and it is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, Siege and Storm, and then also the third one that I haven't read yet is Ruin and Rising. So I really want to get to these because I'm really enjoying the TV show, and I just want to finish this series. So those are all the books that I want to read in May. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, and also let me know what you're reading. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!